Well, hello farming friends, and welcome back to another edition of Farming Simulator 2015 with me, your buddy, Mistermoose. Hey, today we are back on Manchester. It is the beginning of day 3 here on the farm. As you can see, I've gone ahead and brought us up to 5:30 in the morning. Rise and shine. Alright, so to bring you up to date on where we are at, let's grab a tractor here and we'll go hit all the fields. I went ahead and got the rest of that chaff done, and I was gonna roll it on camera, but when I got over there to it, it was like 90% the weight of the tractors and the and everything had gone ahead and just brought it down, so there was no need to do any of that. I went ahead and rolled it, wrapped it, and then fast forwarded the day. Alright, so our field here with our wheat looking pretty good. Our moisture content 57%. We're going to lose a little bit of that today, but our nutrients are good. We're going to put some PK on it today to bring our PK level up to 4. And yeah, so this field is looking good. Our pH is coming back into line, just where we thought it was going to be. It was a little high at one point. I was scared about that, but it looks like everything is starting to bring it down. We're going to lose another, well, actually we won't lose anything today because we're just spraying PK. So the field itself is looking pretty good. And we just got one more day to go until we can harvest. So we will go ahead and put a layer of PK fertilizer on it today. That will give us 3 PK. It will also give us 14 in water. Because you go at noon, we're going to lose another 14. So that'll bring us right back down to 57. So that's pretty good for us. Let's go grab our tractor again. So that field is looking good. We've so far we're on schedule with it and everything is right. Looking at the weather for the next couple of days, again, today is one of those days where we're going to lose an extra 14%. So at noon, once the water levels are calculated, we'll end up spraying a dose of water on the field to get that in control, and then on Thursday we won't have to worry about it anymore. So anyways, that's a idea what the weather looks like for the next few days. Today's our last really hot day. Alright, what about the soybean and the wheat? I mean soybean and corn. The wheat's fine. Alright, if we come on back here to our soybean field, which is just in its first growth stages. And we take a look at the field. We're a little acidic, but are in alkalinity. But things look good. Our nutrients are at 7 and 3. Ideally, we want that to be 5 and 4 when we get ready to harvest. So, so far, this field's looking good. A little dry, so we're going to have to put some water on it. Now, we're going to spray in a minute. That will bring us up to the 57% when we spray. We're going to be putting herbicide on the field this morning. That will give us some moisture content, so that'll bring us up to 57%. We'll lose that, of course, at noon when the field recalculates. But we'll come back after that and spray water again this afternoon. So we'll be watering / irrigating this afternoon, so that won't matter or anything. So this field is looking good as well. The alkalinity, don't worry about that, because we're gonna, when we spray herbicide, we'll lose another couple of points on that, and it will all come into its own. Same thing with this field. I think 7.7's a pretty good area to be at alkalinity in your first growth stage. Still 43%. Nutrients look good on this field. So we're in good shape. we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll just keep going as things go forth. So this morning, the agenda is to put PK fertilizer on the wheat. Then we'll come over here and we'll put a double dose of herbicide on this field, and on these two fields. Now, both of these fields take the corn uses any kind of herbicide but B, and the soybean uses anything but C. So we are going to use a double dose of A on both of those fields, and that will be our herbicide today. You'll see our silage is done. Got it finished up about right around 4:30, 5 o'clock yesterday. So when I fast-tracked time and got us to 5 a.m., that got us our silage done. So after we get the field sprayed, we'll transfer that into the mix station. We'll start making some TMR, and we'll start getting our cows fed that, so then we can get our cows up to full productivity. So anyways, that's the plan for today. We'll go ahead and park this guy because we don't need him right now. We'll need him a little bit later when we start transferring our TMR or our silage around. So I had a lot of issues with both the case and the Fendt when trying to do that last little bit of silage or chaff earlier. They just kept messing up in courseplay, and I don't know what's up with that. I did update courseplay thanks to someone who commented on the Rockwood video and said something to the effect of great video, blah blah blah, and don't forget to update courseplay. And thank you, because I absolutely would have forgotten to update courseplay had you not said something. Believe it or not, it was that little comment in the video that actually reminded me to do it. Alright, so we're going to set this up for just the PK, and we are going to head over here. We're going to get a little gas in this thing, and then we will head out to the field and get going. But yeah, the little issue I had with the Fendt rolling it all over the field, I had that issue once again. I mean, it just spazzed out, wouldn't do anything. And then the case started doing the same thing. I ended up having to put the combine or the harvester into manual mode, and I ended up, or into use your words, auto combine, and let it run. And then I ended up taking the doing all the chasing manually. It a little frustrating. Alright, let's go ahead and start opening this thing up. Find our line here. You know, I need to save this course so I have it every time. Alright. All I need to do is just adjust that a little bit so that is dead center right there. So, and that will work for us. Alright, so make sure that looks right. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, let's bring her up to the mark and we'll start spraying. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of forestry over the weekend. We're back to ag for the rest of the week. And then we'll go from there. So I got a comment on yesterday's video from someone wanting to see the mining map. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a whole lot of interest in that mining map. I've looked at it. I've watched some other people's videos on it, and it just doesn't do anything for me. Because you're not really doing any kind of actual mining. It's basically you're just going and scooping up rock, putting it in a dozer or into a tipper, and taking that to another location. And that doesn't do a lot for me. If you guys want to see that, let me know, and then we'll, depends on you guys. If y'all want to see that, that's fine. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of interest in it, and hadn't had a whole lot of interest in it. You guys let me know what y'all think about it. This guy looks a little bit off. There we go. That looks pretty good. The idea of the map sounds great. But I just think I don't know. I just think it's not there. You don't have the ability in Farm Sim to actually dig in the ground and do anything. So it just doesn't do a whole lot for me. Alright, go ahead and bring these arms in so we can make our turn. Out. And while we do that, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to move this to field 4, and I am going to go ahead and save this. I think this is saved. Let's call this F4 spray. Alright, so that's saved. Looks like we are taking some stuff. It's not perfect, but it will be from now on, right? Alright, let's go ahead and get that started. Let's go ahead and get that rolling. I adjusted it back down. It's just not perfect. Gonna make a big, huge, wide swath through here. It's alright. We calculated for the loss. Note to self: record these courses in the very beginning. See, we're learning something new every day. Is go ahead and save your course. It's weird, now it's on course and it's doing just fine. And it's not actually eating up any crop. Let's see what I'm doing here. Let's see on my original path. Alright, so like I said, we're spraying just the PK fertilizer this time. So the difference in spraying the NPK and the N and the PK separately. The N fertilizer sprayed by itself will give you 5 points towards your nutrients. for N. And the PK sprayed alone will give you 3 points towards PK nutrients. If you spray the two of them together, you only get 3 points of N and 1 point of PK. So that's the reason I separated them, because wheat, most all of the fruits in the game only use N on 2 growth stages, but wheat uses it on all 4 growth stages. So I wanted to have my nitrogen level up high enough so that as it was consuming during all 4 growth stages, I would have plenty of nitrogen there for it. So that's the reason I banked a whole lot in the beginning for the nitrogen. That's also the reason why I'm doing this field differently than I'm doing the soybean and the corn. The corn and the soybean will use the nitrogen and the PK more evenly, and I shouldn't have any issues with them. So that's the reason. The PK is only being used in the initial growth stage, from what I understand. So that's the reason why it won't move as much as the nitrogen does. So if we spray now with it after it's had its initial 2 growth stages, whatever we put the PK value at now, it should end up being that at harvest time. Sorry about that, I had to cough. Hopefully I remember to take that out. Anyways, that's my understanding on it. So I could be completely wrong on all that. We'll figure it out as we go along with this. My knowledge of the soil mod is still in its infancy stage. But I will say this field is looking a whole lot better than our cornfield did on Holzhausen. It looked absolutely horrible by this point, and yeah. Not going to be able to make that turn, am I? There we go. Back up a little bit. Down, go ahead and put those back out. I can adjust this back down. Come on. Alright. Make sure we're in the right place here. Alright. I think we're good. Get this last little bit of spraying done, and then we'll go switch over to our herbicide, and we'll get our other 2 fields done. Alright, let's go ahead and bring that in. Alright, so we're going to be moving to field 7, so I want to move there. This windshield on this thing drives me nuts. The glare, and it's not clear. It's got that haze to it, so drives me crazy. Alright, let's pull on around here so we can get our fertilizer updated and switch to herbicide. Alright, so we got to switch back to NPK just to refill. Do that, and then we'll switch. Like I said, we're going to use a double dose of A for our fertilizer, for our herbicide this time. And again, all the information I'm getting is either from the Soul Mod page on FSUK, or the link that I've put in a Soul Mod before, where you could get the tutorial on how to do this. Alright, so double dose of A, and then we'll head on over here to the field. So what I'm going to want to do when I do it this time is get set up, get everything in the right position, and then we'll make sure that we save this. This will be our first run through this particular field with the sprayer and through the fruit. So this will be our first time to make tram lines through the field. Alright, let's go ahead and get our boom out. Set our direction, and we can go ahead and start massaging that over. That looks about right. Right there. Make sure that we got the right width. Yeah, we need to bring that way over. Alright, so we need to back up a little bit carefully. Alright, let's go ahead and save this before we even start. So I'm going to save this, and this is going to be field 7 and spraying. Alright, so that is good. So we've got that course recorded now. So any times that we come back to this, we'll be able to use that exact same course layout. We'll go ahead and get this sprayed. And we hope that I picked the right herbicide. I went back and I double checked it. B for corn and C for soybean. Those are the two that you don't want to use, which leaves A in common for the two, so we can spray A on both fields. And usually that's, you know, that's pretty much true across the board. You usually can find a common fertilizer for most everything. Your cereals like wheat, barley, they are going to take, they're going to be resistant to B and C, and A is the one you're going to have to avoid for them. The corn, canola, they're going to be on resistant to everything but B. And then your potatoes and a lot of your off stuff is going to be that's going to be on your C fertilizer, so you can use like A and B for them. kind of messed up. I kind of got to talking and didn't get to thinking about the fact that I wanted to make shallow turns on this to not be doing folding up so much out here. That's alright. We can fold and unfold at the end of each field. I would rather make my turns though, so I'm gonna try to remember on the next down leg to make my turn. Alright, so headed back up the field. So anyways, back to that mining stuff. Y'all let me know if that's something y'all really want to see or not. If there's enough interest in it, I'll download it and we'll take a look at it. But if there's really not that much interest in it, then I don't really want to tackle it. Farmer Beavis is doing some videos with Caravera on it, but I think even after a couple episodes, they've lost interest in it. So, you know, like I said, it doesn't just grab me out as interesting. If you could get in it and run an excavator and dig a hole in the ground, and you could sit there and that's what you did all day long, was sit in an excavator and shovel dirt into a waiting dump truck. Oh, I'd do that all day long. I'd hook up the double joysticks and be at it. But you just don't get that, so I don't see it. Oops. Ooh, a lot of waste if I do it like this, though. I turned early because of that fence line there. I didn't want to clip it. If I do this, I'm going to lose a lot of liquid. Have a lot of waste. As it is, it looks like I'm going to have to refill on this field. So check the mods out again today. Same story, different day, right? Nothing really of interest. Really don't need a special loading screen or any of that stuff. Alright, and on this, we're just going to make our turn and head on upfield. Go ahead and snap that in, lock that in, and be on our way. I don't know, it's just nothing out there. And the reskin and the tweaking of tractors, it's just getting old. I mean, it just seems like every day it's a new tweak of the same tractor. I'd like to see some good stuff actually come out, you know. It's time to actually model some John Deeres that are actually good, that don't have a boatload of errors in the log when you load them in. You know, I went on the Giant site. There's nothing in beta new. There's nothing really new on their site as well. It's just, it's almost stagnant where everything's at. Alright, so, oh no, that was bad. Oh, that wasn't good. Well, we miscalculated that severely. Didn't take into consideration that tree and the corn area. That's gonna hurt us. Have to rethink that one down the line. Alright, switch this back over to AA. There we go. I guess I ought to set this up from up here and see where that's gonna hit at. I might as well run it and get everything right, because I don't want to be wrong the rest of the time. Alright, so that's where I actually need to be. So we will go ahead and set here. We're only going to add one more tram line it in, it looks like. Alright, so back into here, start spraying. I won't hit that dead tree anymore. Oops. As long as I lock in my course right. So I'm not too terribly off on it. But we'll have this set now. I don't need to continue spraying. I just want to run to the end of this course. Run it all the way out. Alright, and that is that. And I should be able to save. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Cancel, backspace, spraying -B. So now when I load, it's not letting me load that. Yeah, oh, come on. I don't want to do anything here. Okay, so these don't work this way I thought they worked. I was under the understanding that you could take a bank and you could save in each bank, you could save multiple, but apparently I can only save one course per bank, which sucked. Because I figured I could save for 7 multiple things. Can't do that. That's not good. Oh well. So I guess what we'll need to do is come up with a system for doing that. because what I want to do is I want to save the bulk of it as the name of the field, and then save whatever else I need down the line. I guess what I can do is this. I can pick out... Let's see how many fields are actually on this particular map. Let's bring this up and top off real quick while I'm doing this. There are... How many fields are there? There aren't but a few. 15 to 19. Alright, so 19 is the maximum number of fields. So what we'll do is we'll record our primary as like 7. And then our secondary course I'll record as 27. In bank 27. So we'll just add an extra 20 onto it. So 17 would be 37 if we needed 2 courses in there. Alright, well, learn something new every day, don't we? Like I said, I was under the understanding that you could go in there and select the field number and then put your course in there, and you could have multiple courses in there for each bank, but apparently not. It is a save location, and you have to go from there. Alright, so go ahead and massage this over, and go ahead and open this up while I do this. Pull this on over to the field. Get it set up. That looks good for there. Actually, where I want to start though, I want to start over here next to the corn thing. Figured this out the other day, didn't I? And I wanted to start over here and then finish up over by the row. So come on in a little bit more so we clear everything. Alright, so we'll bank down to 6. We'll save this. Field 6, not field 5. F6 spraying. Why you gotta name it if you can't recall it by name? Just a curious one, isn't it? Again, I don't know of any documentation on this mod anywhere. I've looked for it many a time and not been able to find it, so that one's just one I don't know enough about. I just barely missed that tree there, didn't I? I'll eventually get it all figured out. Surely somebody has messed with it enough that I'll get some comments too in the on the video. I'm sure someone is already typing at this point. They've stopped the video to tell me, oh, how wrong I am. That's fine. Can I clear that rock? Yeah, I can clear it. Hey Moose, it helps if you start spraying. Anyways, so we'll get our spraying done here. All will be good. Then we'll go jump in the old case bad boy, and we'll start getting some TMR mixed up for our cattle. And they'll be happy campers. Alright, so this last leg here, we gotta turn early, and we gotta match it up, and it's right here most likely. So let's go ahead and grab that. Nope, it's over just a little bit more. There we go. Keeping in line with what I just said, we'll go ahead and save this as our second course for this, and we'll save this as 26 in our bank. So we'll run this up to number 26, and we'll save it, and this will be F6 spraying B-B. All right. And we'll have our cornfield sprayed with NPK. Oh, why didn't y'all yell at me and tell me I was messing up? I just ruined these fields. I'll ruin this field. Oh, jeez, I need to stop before I do any more damage to this one. I wasn't paying attention. I bet y'all were yelling at the monitor before I even pulled away from the fertilizer that I forgot to switch it back. That's one thing I hate about the soil mod. I shouldn't have to do that. I mean, it should let me fill up with whatever I want to fill up with. I don't like the fact that you have to fill up as NPK, and then you've got to switch before you drive off. You can't switch anywhere else in the field. Which I get that you can't switch anywhere else, but I should be able to fill up as anything I want to. Ah, dirty word. Well, this will be interesting. I think I can overlay the herbicide on top of that. I might not be able to, because I know you can't do spray one, spray the other. But from what I understand is, if I put herbicide on now, it will overwrite what I did with the NPK. I sure hope that's the truth, or the fact. I hope that's the case anyways. Yeah, get to use our little save stuff here. Alright, come back to 6. Load our course. And we're good to go on that part of it. Alright, AA, make sure we're spraying the right herbicide. I don't want to spray the wrong thing and kill everything. Alright, so hopefully by spraying this down, I'm adding weed preventative and overriding what I just did with the NPK, because that would destroy this field. It would send the nutrient values and everything through the roof. It basically would burn our corn up. Hopefully, my understanding is that you can't do And I've gotten conflicting reports on this. Some people say that you can put herbicide and a fertilizer down at the same time. Other people have told me you can't. The tutorial that I've watched many a times on it says you can't. So hopefully what I'm doing will actually be effective and not a complete mess. Then again, I could always not save the game and come back and redo it all. I wouldn't do that. Want to bet? Yeah, we'll take it the way it is. I'll just run it the way it is. Matter of fact, just to prove that, when we're done spraying, I'll save the game so you guys know that I actually did save it. Most of the time, though, I'll be honest with you. If I make a mistake early in recording a video, like a stupid bonehead, holy cow, I can't believe I did that kind of thing, a lot of times I'll just I'll stop the recording, close out, restart, and redo everything all over again. Sometimes it'll take me a couple of hours to get the video done because of that, you know, and that's part of me being a little too much of a perfectionist sometimes, especially if I say something really stupid in the video. A lot of times I'll just redo everything because I just completely flubbed something. Alright, well, we either have a really messed up chemistry on this field, or this overwrote and we have good weed prevention all the way around the field. One way or the other. It's not going to totally kill us to have that NPK on there, but that, I mean, because that would bring our nutrients values to 9 and 3, which would adjust down to about 7, or 9 and 6, and it would end up being about 7 and 6, but all that nitrogen would really burn up our corn. Our corn would grow and it would get really, really green, and then it would turn yellow and burn up. At least in real life. So what happens if you put too much nitrogen on your field? It gets the plant to grow really hard, and it gets really, really green. Like if you put triple X on your lawn, it's going to get really, really, really green, but then it's going to turn brown on you after a while because it just burned itself up. And that's what would happen with our corn. We would get really good growth state out of it, and it'd get really green, but then it would just wither up and burn itself up. It wouldn't be able to recover from that. Alrighty. So we're done with this guy, dude, for now. In about, 6 hours, we'll pop him back out again and do some more with him. But at this point, he is done, and we can park him. At some point, I need to sell off that sprayer. Hey, here's a good idea. Garage. Come in here. Sell the sprayer. Where's it at? There it is. Amazon sell. Alright, there. Now it's gone. Again, I did it in one recording and apparently didn't save after, and I told you guys I would go ahead and save, so let's save game. That is saved. And now whatever damage I did, I have done. So, alright, so next part of this is we'll go ahead and start mixing up the rest of our TMR now that part of our work is done. We can move on to something else. And that means getting into the old bad boy and going and doing some work with it. So we'll come over here. I gotta put the front end on this thing. Can drop that weight right there. Apparently I don't have the I do have it on there. Right? Nope. There it is. Mount is on now. One of these days I need to hook the I need to start hooking a joystick up. I couldn't do it. I might could. I was gonna say I could hook a joystick up and run this steering with the gamepad and using the joystick to run the front end loader, but that probably wouldn't work because I throttle and everything with my oops, I throttle with my index finger on my right hand. I could put the throttle on the joystick, but that would be weird, especially in a vehicle when I'm driving a vehicle that doesn't have the front end on it. Holy cow! Really? Really? Stupid. What a ridiculous screenshot. Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it? You gotta love it when that happens. Alright, so reset vehicle. Let's find it. There it is. Reset vehicle. Yes. Let's find the front loader and the bucket. Reset. Yes. And the bucket. I might as well reset because it's going to be laying somewhere weird. Yes. Okay. Well, that was fun, kids, wasn't it? Alright, put the mount back on the front of this thing. There we go. Yay! All right. All right. Well, that was a joy and a hoot. All right. I should be able to do this just with a shovel and grab our silage. And then run back over here. And I should be able to dump this right in the trigger point. Now if I don't get it right, we'll have to get a tipper and do this with a tipper. Alright, so we'll watch our meter and make sure that when we do this, we're actually getting it into the processor. Make sure we pull up a little bit. It sounds like it's working. Alright, so that looks like it's going to work right there. So, alright, make a note of where we were. And we'll just keep running back and forth with a shovel load after shovel load. Good old rotten corn. Excuse me, fermented corn. And we'll just get that processing. And it takes a little bit of time for it to process. I am considering putting the far silo mod in. Raven and I were talking about it the other day, and I think I might be ready to take that next step and put it in. See if I can make TMR that way. I've not tried it. And if you're not familiar with the far silo mod, it changes the way your bunker works. Instead of putting just grass in there and making silage, or putting your chaff in there and making silage, you can make silage with chaff, but you can also go in and you can put like a 50 or 60-40 mix of chaff and potatoes into the bunker, and by compressing it and letting it ferment, you make TMR. And the thing about it is it lets you make a ton of TMR. But I have to tell you this, I have never not been able to make enough TMR with this thing to keep my animals fed. But the only reason I would do it is it would be another challenge. Looks like that meter's coming up ever so slightly. So yeah, I've never, like I said, I've never had an issue with not having enough TMR. I mean, I look at North Brabant, and I have a ton of cattle and pigs and beef and chickens and all that other stuff, right? I made TMR once on that map, and I've never gone back to the bunker and made any more. And I've done 50-60 episodes on that map, so I don't necessarily know that I need to do it that way, but it would be another challenge to do it that way, and it would bring another aspect to the game. So it's something I'm considering, though I haven't done it, because you can always make silage wrap in grass using the bale extension mod. Anyways, if you have experiences with that, comment on it. Let us know what you think about Far Silo mod. Or bunker, whatever it's called. Far Silage mod, maybe? I forget, it's FAHR. And I think it's called, maybe it's Far Bunker Extension mod. I forget. I'm listening to the noise on that thing, and instead of looking at the actual numbers coming out and going, oh, well, I'm done dumping. Could I use a conveyor belt to do all this and a tipper? Yep. Is it as much fun? Nope. So, is it a lot faster? Yep. Is it as much fun? Nope. Are y'all wondering why I keep running shovel load after shovel load to this thing? Sometimes I just enjoy it, you know? Doing a little dumping. Hurling my bucket and going at it. You know, come to think about it, I probably should have used another tractor to pull this thing over when it topped like that, but I didn't really think about it. Thought I'd mix it up instead of doing first person the whole time, do a little bit of third person. Oops, ran into it. Even though I don't have to, I do like to do proper bucket technique when I do this. You know, I know I could leave my bucket like this most of the time and go in there and get a full scoop of silage out. But I just kind of like to do the mechanics of it. Oops. Anyways. Scoop. Alrighty. So I'm just going to keep on doing this a little bit. And, you know, fill up this tube. It's going to take a while. I could automate this with courseplay if I wanted to, if I got bored with it. And I might. Let's see how we're doing now on our TMR. See if we've got enough to take a little over to the cattle. It does take time for this to produce, so you don't get a ton of it right off the bat. Yeah, we've got 1,300. Tell you what, let's go ahead and with that already mixed, let's go grab the little Brantner. I have issues with taking food in with the bucket and getting it actually distributed on the right trigger point. I tried it with the grass earlier, and I wasn't able to actually get the grass to distribute using the bucket. So that's the reason I'm going to use the trailer versus that. Alright, so let's come over here and get our TMR. Alright, it was 1,500. That's a start. It just gives them a little bit. They don't need a whole lot. If I look at my numbers, they probably can't take much anyways. So we'll head on in here into the barn. And we'll say hello to Bill Cosby. Rapist. Did I say that? And again, I say that not because Fat Albert's black. I say that because Bill Cosby's a rapist. Did I actually say that again? I'm gonna get sued for slander, aren't I? In my opinion, given the evidence that has been presented. There. How about that? It's an opinion. Alright. So anyways. We got a little TMR in there for the cattle. They're going to be happy. And you know, happy cows make happy milk. Which makes happy cheese. And you know you have happy cheese because it has a big smile on it. That's right. As opposed to unhappy cheese that just stinks. Like Limburger. That's an unhappy cheese. Anything that stinky cannot be happy. I'm just rambling at this point. Alright, let's get back here and get some more of this done. This video has got to be getting long. So, it's just about time to say goodbye. And go play some LSPDFR. If you haven't seen the new LSPDFR video, you have to watch it. It's the best one ever. So, I'm just saying. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You just have to watch it. Because it's just... It's no recon getting set on fire, but it's pretty darn funny. Y'all, if y'all haven't watched Recon's video where he goes and does LSPDFR and the truck gets blown up by noose and then he goes to put it out with a fire extinguisher and catches himself on fire, you've got to see that video. It's hilarious. Recon's the man, and that is just hilarious. The fact that he gets set on fire once and then gets right back up and gets set on fire again is just great. It's just too funny. That whole video, man, he had a rough night on that one. He gets clobbered and shot. Some dude just walks up and stabs him, and it's awesome. Oh man, somebody commented on my video yesterday that they think that on that video that they don't think I shouldn't use auto aim and I shouldn't use the rifle, the assault rifle or whatever. I don't use complete full aim on it. I use partial aim assist. Eventually, when I get a little bit more comfortable with the controls, like I'm used to playing on a gamepad for stuff like Battlefield because I have that on my PS3, and it, you know, like everything, it takes time and you have to adjust your sensitivities and everything else, like to get to the point where you're comfortable with it and you can play and aim yourself. I cannot seem to get the aim sensitivity and the acceleration to a point where I'm comfortable with aiming myself. So I do use the partial assist, and I don't feel bad about using the partial aim assist because I know several other people who do who do this on a regular basis. So if it's not your cup of tea, I understand that. That's the way I play the game, though, until I get better with the controls and get more comfortable with them. And all that comes over time. If you've played GTA 4 and GTA 5 for a long time and you're used to the controls, then you don't have any issues with it. Me, I'm just starting out playing GTA 5. I'm playing the single player mode off camera and playing the storyline and learning all the characters and everything else like that. And I'm playing a little bit of multiplayer right now. Now that Deputy P's got the game, probably he and I will get in there and do some multiplayer together, and that'll be pretty fun. But and again, I'm just learning that game, so until I get better and more muscle memory on that game as far as what I'm doing, I'm gonna keep using the partial aim assist. The assault rifle, I could probably lose it, and just use the pistol. But I think, if you were responding to gang violence, you would probably pull out your assault rifle, but I could do it pistol only. That ain't no big deal. I don't ever really look at that game as there's a fear of dying part of it. I just think it's just funny. I don't take it that serious. That game is just fun. It's silly. The language is way over the top. I do wish there was a filter for the language. I wish there was a way you could go in and say language, like in the settings, just have a something where you can click and it basically either turns off the file language or you can play it as is, or you can play it with all of that stuff muted, because it's ridiculous how over the top it is. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't hear people talk like that in public. And if they did, we're going to hell in a handbasket real quick. I mean, some of the stuff that's said in there, it's said, but usually it's said in private where everybody's not listening to it. So, anyways, it's sort of a little offensive to me. And really, the worst part about it is while that game is rated for mature audiences, moms and dads are just blatantly buying that game for their 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds, and they just don't care. And that's the problem, is that's what they're being. You wonder why kids act the way they are today. They're being exposed to this stuff, and I'm not for stickering games and all that other stuff that Tipper Gore was into and back in the day, but that's just stuff kids don't need to be exposed to, because they pick it up and they use that in public because they think it's okay. They hear it there and they think, well, that's cool, I'm going to use it in real life. And they may not say it around their parents, but they'll say it when they're around their friends. I used to never cuss. I'll tell you this, I used to never cuss. And then I started working in the oil fields, running. In the winters, I captain a vessel for an oil company. I run a supply boat, working for a company out of Louisiana, and I'll drive a boat for them. Usually 14 days on, 14 days off. Till I got around those guys, I didn't hardly ever cuss. You spend 14 days immersed in it, and it gets in your subconscious and it just comes out, it's a fact of the matter. you get around people who talk different than you, and you get immersed in it for long enough, you'll start talking like them. It just happens, as much as you try to avoid it. I used to play golf with a bunch of French Canadian guys, and listening to their accent the entire time, it would start to rub off on me. Maybe I'm just impressionable. I think it happens to everybody. Anyways. Alright. I think I've done enough of this for you guys. I can automate the rest of it or do it myself off camera, and you guys don't have to watch it. But glad you did watch today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give a thumbs up and a like to it. It's gonna be a little late getting posted. It's 1:30 my time. It's almost 2 o'clock my time. So this video isn't gonna get up until late. So no big deal. As I say that to you, you've already watched the video and you already know the fact that it was up late. So, you know, I'm just telling you something you already know, right? Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I do hope you will give me a thumbs up and like it if you did. If you didn't like it, well, thanks for watching anyway. Make sure you give me a thumbs down to let me know that you didn't like it. And that one guy that gives me a thumbs down every day, thank you for watching the video. Appreciate it. Go ahead and click the unlike button, and come back tomorrow and unlike my video tomorrow. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. I do a new video each and every day, and there'll be a new one up for you tomorrow. So come on back and join me then. Until then, guys and gals, thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.